This is a dry fly that many anglers fish all over the country. Brent will demonstrate how these simple methods cross over on several wet fly or dry fly patterns.
Okay, folks, our next fly on the vise here is going to be the elk hair caddis, and you're going to see the techniques are very similar to what we did with the willy worm. I'm going to be tying on a size 10, which is a fairly large caddis. I mean, there is some sedges and so forth that get a lot bigger than that, but my point would be 12s and 14s are very doable with this pattern, but don't start there. Start with a bigger hook until you get mastering that pattern, okay? And if the pattern does not turn out the way you want it, get that knife out like I showed you, start again. And I'll say this as well. When you're tying flies, if the pattern's worth fishing, tie at least 6. There's so many people that are, you look at their fly boxes, they got one of every kind in there, and then they break a fly off to get something that the fish finally want to eat, break it off, and then they have a kind of a funny look in their face because they don't have any more. It's a bad feeling. Using white thread on here, I'll show you we're going to mark that when we get back. Now, when we tied the woolly worm, we tied the butt end of the fly, or the feather, at the hackle at the front and went back with it. And that curves the hackles to the rear, kind of wet fly style we call it. We tie the butt in at the rear of the hook, then it'll want to cut forward, and that's dry fly style. I'm going to take two colors here. We're going to make what they call a Cree. It's a grizzly and a brown mixed. Tie them right at the end here. We just strip that off a little bit. Make sure they're tied in there. They're not going nowhere. Okay, they'll be fine. Grab some of our dry fly dubbing. Specific dubbing for dry flies is treated. You don't need a zillion colors of it. This is hare's ear, I believe. Pretty, you want to match the colors your naturals. So we're going to get a bit of a loose dub on here. That's fine because I want it to float. I'm not worried about it getting, but see how loose it was, and I'm getting a little bit thin right there. So you know what? I'm just going to grab a wee little pinch. And when I roll it on here with my fingers, I just roll it in tight. Get around the thread. And we leave a little room at the head. And if there's a few little, that looks natural, like that. Now we're going to take these two hackles, and we're going to wind them forward together. You see how they cup forward? Now we have a Cree hackle. Tie them both off at the same time. On the inside of our scissors, kind of get them along the blade. We don't want to cut any of our hackle off this period. Get lots of turns on that thread. Now the elk hair caddis wouldn't be complete without elk hair, would it? So we got some elk hair here. It doesn't flare as much as deer hair. You can use deer hair, but it does flare more. And then I'll hold the tips, pull the junk out of the bottom, throw the hair into my stacker. Make sure the stacker's clean. Sometimes you get stuff in there you won't stack so good. Make sure it's clean. Tap it on a good hard surface. The tip should be nice and black, even. Come off the side like so. Not certain if they look right. Go again. If you don't have your hair cleaned out, it won't stack properly. See, there was one loose one in there. I didn't see it. And that'll kind of mess things up a little bit. A couple of not quite so long. Pull a couple little long, shorter ones off. And the tips look pretty good. We're coming right to the bend of the hook. I'm going to pinch it on each side. Remember when I said pinch? We're going to get a loose turn. Pull it up. Another turn. Pull it up. Whatever your thread tension, if you pull it up, the hair will stay on top. If I pull it down, it'll want to turn. And then I'll just pull this back. Get a few turns in front of the butts. Leave those long butts on for now. So if I have this white thread, I can make a brown thread out of it with a marker pen. Really quick and easy. Don't have to buy all the colors if you don't want to. Now we'll come in here with the Mattarelli style whip finish. I'll just get a little closer to my business here. This can be confusing for sometimes. There's the hook on the end here. We're going to push that against the thread. Come around the back of the frame where my thumb is. And then here we go over top. You can see there's a 4. You can see it right there, a 4. Now I'll get these other hairs out of the way, and then we can just start wrapping that in. That's a really good whip finish tool. Probably the most popular one. I would suggest get one of those. You're going to use it all the time. Get a hold of those butts. Give it a nice little haircut. And you have the elk-haired caddis. That's a great fly. You can tie that. That's in its size 10, 12s, 14s. You can even go 16s once you get to be really proficient. That's a good pattern. That's how you make a little Cree hackle with brown and grizzly hackles. You can buy those hackles. You don't have to buy the whole saddle. You can buy half a saddle, quarter saddle, and you can also buy 10 feathers in a pack too. So it's all sized down for your particular needs. Okay, let's go on to the next fly.
Thanks for joining us today with our fly guy Brent Schlenker. Check out his new videos on Brent's YouTube channel and Sport Fishing on the Fly.